There's a new analysis of tax disclosures that some people are calling shocking, and I say, is it really shocking anymore when you hear these things? Anyhow, the disclosures come from three major American nonprofit organizations, and they reveal that the charities collectively gave millions of dollars to the Chinese government and state-affiliated universities and groups. Wow. The report found that the tax disclosures from the Rockefeller Brothers Fund, the Ford Foundation, and the MacArthur Foundation discovered that together the organizations donated about $10.2 million directly to the Chinese government and to organizations headed by top-ranking Chinese Communist Party members. I don't even know how you get there. The Rockefeller Brothers Fund gave the Chinese Academy of Sciences $530,000 for environmental initiatives, and the Chinese Ministry of Ecology and Environment $400,000 for capacity building and research. The MacArthur Foundation gave $265,000 and the Ford Foundation $706,000, and it goes on and on and on. Here with details, Turning Point USA correspondent Morgan McMichael. Morgan, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. And what makes me sad here, Morgan, is I'm looking at this list. I'm going, here's 500, here's 800. This is just a partial list of one group of organizations sending all this money to the communists. Have we lost our minds?
I think we have, and I wish I could say I was shocked. I do think this is coming straight from ESG scores, World Economic Forum. We all know that the CCP loves Klaus Schwab and everything that they're doing over there, especially with the forum happening a couple weeks ago. But $10.2 collective million that is funding directly to the the Chinese Academy of Sciences. My question is why aren't these U.S. companies funding U.S. research? Also, I find it very interesting that coincidentally, the Chinese Academy of Science also oversees the Wuhan Institute of Virology, which we all know where the pandemic came from. And just a couple weeks ago or 2 weeks ago at the World Economic Forum, there was a lot of talk about disease X. Do I think there is a coincidence? No, this is intentionally done. And I think it's anti-American that especially these American people are directly funding Chinese Communist Party members.
Yeah, they certainly. I mean, look. The money we should be sending to the Chinese Communist Party, that number is exactly zero. I don't have to debate this. They're communists. And until 1972, they weren't even officially recognized. Now they're on the Human Rights Commission. Shocking. That is shocking. They're on all these different places and funding different things. Propaganda. They're going after the young minds on TikTok. China should get no money from us, Morgan. None.
Absolutely. They should have no money from the United States.
Right.
They should have no money from us.
This goes on.
The list goes on, and I think there's going to be a lot more foundations coming out, individuals that are funding the, I think, psychological warfare against the American next generation. I mean, Gen Z is so consumed with TikTok, social media, and not to mention how, we have had CCP professors infiltrating the education systems. You have the DEI initiatives that are being shoved down, people's throats, whether it's in work or school. You have critical race theory being taught in school. You have the LGBTQ agenda being taught in schools, and this is all coming from something higher, and the American people should not fall for this. And I think that the CCP has completely infiltrated American culture.
So how do we get rid of it? I mean, honestly, we know the problem. We understand it. You and I have just discussed it, identified it, put a spotlight on it, and yet these kids are still going to look at their phone and drool on themselves and watch TikTok. Hell, the governor of Michigan exempted herself from a TikTok ban. Nobody in Michigan's government can use TikTok except the governor. I mean, these sorts of things, none of it should be allowed. We should stop funding Confucius Institutes. We should stop allowing the Chinese to come here to our universities and steal our intellectual property. We should say no across the board to communists, to these collectivists, to these Marxists. Just stop it. But what can we really do?
I agree. I mean, the government needs to put a stop to it, but they absolutely are not going to. I also think it's interesting that, Chinese Communist Party members are allowed to buy farmland in the United States without actually being a U.S. citizen. What are they going to be doing with that land in our country? We do need to put a stop to it. When it comes to Gen Z and Gen Alpha that's currently being raised, I think parents are the ones that really need to take control of this generation and tell them no and put a stop to it, which is going to continue us being able to speak out and telling them, this is what's going on in our country country and around the world. And it's going to just take more people speaking up and talking about the horrific reality of what the CCP is trying to do and destabilizing America.
Education about China would be a good place to start. The Great Leap Forward in 1959 that went on for 2 years and cost 50 million Chinese their lives. Nobody teaches this in college anymore.
No.
The Great Leap Forward was the leap forward into the grave. Yeah, exactly. We should be teaching the true history of Stalin and Mao and communism and Castro and the killing fields in Cambodia, but we don't. We don't teach people the truth about these. No, we don't. Anyhow, I'll give you the last word.
Instead of teaching real history on American college campuses, you have socialist revolutionary clubs, you have communist clubs, and people who are reading the Communist Manifesto saying, oh, well, communism and socialism just hasn't been implemented correctly yet. These are the kids that are the next generation, and that's why the work with Turning Point USA and being out on those college campuses is even more important today.
Yeah, and Che Guevara, a racist murderer, is a good guy on T-shirts. I got the memo. What a disaster. Morgan, thank you as always. Have a terrific weekend.
Thank you. You too.
All right, after the break, the mysterious and presumptuous disease X continues to stir up questions. Questions that Dr. Jim Thorpe will be answering for us next on America's Voice Live. You don't want to miss it.